A few years ago, I had the privilege to go to the Holy Land with Dr. Tim Gray, and we went to Cana in Galilee, and I told him that I want to taste this wine because it's made by Jesus, so it should be good. Well, it turned out it's terrible. Don't buy this wine, okay? It's a really cheap wine. People just want to make money there, so they always buy the cheapest one. They just put a nice sticker on a bottle and they say, this is the wine that Jesus made. No. But this is like a tradition. If you are there, you have to buy it because it's cheap, but it's from Cana. You have to do it. So I did buy one, and I took it to Poland and I gave it to my parents for their wedding anniversary. Huge mistake. My parents are really nice, and right now my mom is watching me from Poland because it's 6 p.m. And so she doesn't understand, but well, I will need to explain it tomorrow to her. Anyway, they are really nice, but my dad said, we appreciate your gift, but it's terrible, This wine is terrible. It's terrible because it's not made by Jesus. Whatever Jesus makes in the Bible, including this wine, it's awesome. That's awesome. You know the story well. You know what happens when you drink too much, whatever it is, if it's wine, beer, whiskey, Polish vodka, whatever it is. You know what happens when it's too much. Like I always say, drinking, that's what the church says, drinking it's fine, but you have to know your limits. Although Jesus doesn't know any limits. He gives us so much, but people just cannot drink this, okay? This is the place when we say Mass, the Eucharist happens here, and the Eucharist, it's not possible, cannot happen if we don't have wine. If we don't have wine. There is always wine, because without wine, there is no Eucharist, okay? There has to be wine. The wine, this wine, in a few minutes will become the blood of Christ. Another miracle. Another miracle. The whole message in today's gospel is not about drinking and knowing your limits. It's about inviting God into our lives like he was invited. Just remember, Jesus and the apostles, they are not wedding crashers, okay? They were invited, and his mom was invited as well. But when you invite Jesus into your life, there are still problems. For example, there is no wine. Wine, if you drink this and you know your limits, it brings you joy, right? You are more open, I would say, more talkative, you want to talk to people. It gives you joy. That's what happens when we invite God. If your life doesn't taste great, you think so, invite God. And he will change water into wine. He will give you so much joy, so much joy. So basically that's the whole message of this wedding at Cana. Wine is great when we know our limits, but this is the extension of this wedding. When the bridegroom, which is Jesus, turns wine right now into his blood. So you are at the wedding reception right now. This is the wedding reception. The bridegroom wants to marry you because he wants to be in this relationship with you for the rest of your life here on earth, and of course into eternal life. Eternal life. Mary, who is in the gospel, and she says to, of course, the servers, do whatever he tells you. That's the message for us as well. Let's do whatever he says. Now, of course, Jesus tells us many stuff through the Catholic Church. Okay? We have the teaching of the church, and sometimes it's really difficult to maybe follow all of it, right? There's some maybe stuff that you don't like can happen. But we have to do what the servers did when they were told, pour water into the jars and just draw a little bit and take it to the headwaiter. Terrible idea, because it's water. If I take this as the server to the headwaiter, I will be punished, because he's waiting for wine. So the servers, as you can see, they did not ask any questions. They just did what they were told. First, trusting Mary, because she said, do whatever he tells you, and then Jesus himself who performs this miracle. So we are like the servers sometimes. We have to really trust, which is difficult, but it's doable. It's doable. We can take a little bit of water, thinking that it's water, but it's already wine. It's already wine. If we do this, if we take this risk, our lives can change. Our lives can change. That's the whole message. The Catholic Church wants you to be merry, to be joyful. And that's why we have this gospel today in January, because we want to remind ourselves that when Jesus came here on Christmas Day, now he wants to start his ministry from the very first event that is so joyful, the wedding. The wedding. Whenever we as priests attend weddings and we are invited by the family to go to the wedding reception, I always say yes, okay? If you invite me to do your wedding, I always go to the reception because it's great. I love it. But people always joke. There is always one person that comes to me and says, Father, maybe, you can change water into wine. I'm like, no, that's Jesus. I'm just Father Witold. And I always say, hopefully you have enough, okay? Hopefully you have enough. Because I'm not God. I'm not God. But that's what happens. This is how Jesus enters this wedding reception, because he was invited, the same we, the priest. We want to be invited into your lives. So just a reminder, like I said in July, if you invite each one of us for dinner, we always accept, okay? I always do. So do it, okay? Invite us. Because we want to help you to grow in your faith. We want to help you to experience joy, okay? And food and red wine always helps. It helps. And so Jesus understands. He takes what is ours, red wine, he takes it and he transforms it into his blood, into his blood. So yeah, this is a wedding reception. This is a wedding reception. And we do it every Sunday. We do it every Sunday. If you invite God, again, into your lives, he will change it. He will give you taste, the best taste that you can have. God in your life. He will bring it. He will give you this flavor. Life will have a new meaning. That's what Jesus does. And when he comes and when he changes your life, when he changes water, your problems, issues, struggles, into the joy of being with him, the whole life is changed. And it tastes so much better than the wine I bought at Cana. So again, if you go there, don't buy it, okay? Don't buy it. But invite even God today into your life. Think about, that's the homework. Think about one event in your life when you have experienced God. So in a powerful way. Because this kind of wedding is supposed to remind you each and every day, even in the midst of the problems, that God is with me and he brings joy. He always brings joy. So that's the wedding reception. Invite him today, again, every Sunday, into your life. So he will bring you joy. He will bring you joy.